Hi, I'm Brooke Erdman with MeatRx, and today I am speaking with Emma, who is going to share with us her carnivore journey. Hi, Emma, how are you?
Hello, Brooke. I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time sharing with us your story. I'm interested to know how you started on this meaty carnivore diet.
I began because I was becoming ill by the age of 60 with a variety of smaller conditions that I thought was just a part of aging. And I saw some videos on YouTube with interviews with ex-vegans and how they had changed their health and by eating meat. And that intrigued me, and I listened to many of those. And then I found people like carnivore doctors like ShawnBaker and et cetera, et cetera. There were several, and there are more and more and more. And I started listening to them and got excited. So I thought, I've got nothing to lose. Let's try it. And that's how I started. And that was 19 months ago.
That's great. I'm glad you stumbled upon that. And then when you started, what were you eating before you started?
Well, I was close to being a vegetarian. I ate so little meat. We'd have the tiniest portion, and it was shrinking over the years, because we were told not to eat so much. So our pieces of meat were shrinking to almost to 50 grams on our plate, and just piling on the vegetables. So the ratio was just so wrong all of that time, and this went on my whole life. And I was anorexic when I was young as well, which I think damaged my whole system rather badly.
So that when you decided to start, did you just one day just have meat?
Yes, absolutely. We have a caravan, an RV, and we went to the beach and we filled up. It has a big fridge in it. I filled up the freezer with meat. I said, "This is it," and so we ate meat. And people thought we were crazy. We have friends there. You see.
And how did you feel?
Great. I was fine. I didn't really miss anything at all, any of the other foods. It's so satisfying just eating your steak. Amazing.
Amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really is.
And did you have any medical problems or issues that you wanted to solve?
Yes, I did. When I was 60, I noticed I had edema in my ankles and feet. And my feet would swell up, and bubble out of my shoes, which was awful. It was worse in summer. And I started taking diuretics. There was that. And I started to get what I'd say were bruised arms, big patches of dark red bruises on my arms just by knocking them slightly. And I was getting around with big patches of Band-Aids on them, huge, the big square Band-Aids like this. And that was a worry. I had very dry lips, sometimes cracking and getting infected, needing antibiotics. I had adult acne. I had a lot of conjunctivitis, bleeding gums, a lot of back and muscular pain, which to me was inexplicable, other than having RSI in my shoulder from spending a lifetime at the computer and with telephones being held. How we used to hold, well, you might not know, you're too young, how we used to hold our telephones on our shoulders. And yes, I had a lot of foot and leg cramps. I mustn't forget that, because that was huge. Really bad foot and leg cramps at my calves.
And so when you started eating meat and letting go of all those other foods, what were the first things that you noticed that changed for you?
My skin was fantastic. It's just been beautiful ever since.
It is quite beautiful, I must say.
Thank you. I had acne on my chest. There was always something there to squeeze, which annoyed me. It wasn't really terrible, but it was always there. I noticed that straight away, and I noticed straight away the edema in my ankles and legs just miraculously disappeared. Completely stopped taking Lasix, diuretics, immediately, almost like within days. It was so good, and that's why I stuck to it. So,
And when did you notice the what is that called when there's bruising on the arms, broken capillary arms?
I believe it's called senile purpura.
And when did that start to disappear?
Within a couple of months, it improved because all of the skin. It's this food, this meat is healing. I think in the blood for the skin, particularly, it's amazing. So that healed. My arms are completely clear now, and I was afraid to show them before.
That's fantastic. Were you taking medications besides the diuretics?
Oh yes. So I was taking so much ibuprofen and general pain relievers and non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, lots and lots and lots of them, because I had so much pain in my back, in muscles in my neck and my back and everywhere. So I took a lot of these, and I even got opioids from the doctor because of the pain. Started to prescribe them, like OxyContin, and things with a lot of codeine, and all of that has stopped. I've stopped all of them.
That's right.
Yes, and the ibuprofen, I was taking so much of it that it chewed out my stomach, and I had a lot of stomach pain from that. And then I had to take, Nexium, which is something that reduces the acid in your stomach, and then that, it's just one vicious cycle. Everything.
So you had to take medications for the medications.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so they've dropped away for you. Those medications have dropped away. And
yes.
Did you gain weight or lose weight, or did you?
No, I never had weight issues except the swollen feet and ankles. I thought were looking fat to me, but other than that, no. My body was never overweight. I was never really, skinny thin either, despite being sort of mostly vegetarian, sometimes not eating at all. The body never was overweight. It's just all these other conditions that cleared up.
Have you noticed any differences in the body, in your composition? Body composition?
Composition.
Like, do you feel stronger?
I always have plenty of energy. I'm not a very active person, but I have noticed that when I do get out and about and active, I can go like the wind. Yes. Other than that, I don't do a lot. But yes, I'm very energetic if I need to be, which is good.
You said we. So were there two of you? Do you have a partner that was also going carnivore?
Yes, my partner in life, and we've been together 11 years, and he did it with me back 19 months ago. I bought $4,000 worth of meat. I bought a new big freezer and $4,000 worth of meat, and I think he thought, well, I have to eat this stuff because otherwise I waste all this money.
Good plan.
Yeah. So he does it with me.
And how's he doing?
Oh, he's fine. He's thriving on it. He never had very many health issues at all. Seems to be a strappingly tall, healthy young man, age 63. But he's doing it, and he's done it with me all the way along, which is great. I'm pleased. Maybe I've prevented him from ever developing metabolic disorders, and this is what I'm hoping.
Yes, I think maybe you have. That sounds very good. Have you noticed any mood changes for yourself? Or A lot of people use this diet for, psychological help or.
Yes, they do. I have some baby magpies squeaking out my window here. It's just noisy.
Yeah.
Anyway, have I? Well, I'm always balanced. I'm always level. I don't feel depressed. I don't have depression, and I don't. Yeah, I think that I'm fine psychiatrically.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you're doing so well. What is it that you're eating exactly?
Well, I can usually only eat about 250 grams of steak per day. Yeah, about 250 grams of steak. That's like a big ribeye, I think you call them over there. And but my husband eats 3 times as much as I do. He eats a lot of meat. Uh, but I can only fit that much in, and I usually only have one meal a day. I might have an egg at lunchtime if I'm hungry. And we have cheese.
Mm-hmm.
We
So it sounds like it's mostly meat that you eat.
Oh, yes, yes. Sometimes I put some green vegetables on his plate. Occasionally I put them onto mine, but not often, actually. We're quite content with just our meat. He swears that he's missing all that food still after all this time. He thinks he'll go and get a pizza soon.
Uh-huh. So he feels like he could be a little looser.
He is a little looser, but because he's working at home now with COVID-19, he's got the office set up at home, and I feed him lunch and dinner. He doesn't get out to go and buy what he wants anyway, so he's stuck.
Have you had a chance to use MeatRx at all for support?
I was talking, I think it was Michael, when it was Meat Heals. I think the company was Meat Heals back in those days when I began, and I was writing emails to MeatRx. I'm not part of the, excuse me, I'll just rephrase that. I watch the success stories and I'm really interested. I love reading all those success stories. They make me happy. And then I'm happy to see it spreading so nicely.
It's remarkable, isn't it? How many people have been able to heal themselves and find such great success with just something so simple as to eating meat.
Yes, it's incredible. And it's so sad that most of the people we know in Adelaide, for example, or in our country, don't know this. And if you try and speak about it, they think you're crazy.
They think you're crazy. Because it sounds a little crazy at first.
It does. It does. Even my family, or my son, one of my sons is trying to do it. He's not successful, but he does try. He's bought a lot more meat, but his partner and he like to live the good life as 35, 36-year-olds do and go out to restaurants. But he's trying. He believes it and he knows it. And he tells me, I know it's the best way to go, Mum, but I'm just not very good at it.
Has he seen differences in you?
Yes, he can see how well I am. Absolutely. When he did do it for a month straight, he did the 30 days, I could see huge difference in him, and he could see it too. But he couldn't keep it up because he and his partner just like food, all of it.
Okay, well that's okay because they've seen the difference and they know the information and it won't leave them.
Yes, and in fact, I know that there'll come a time when both of them will just say, look, we have to do it properly now and stay with it because they've done it once. So, yes.
Yeah, it's just so great to feel good.
And plus he lost weight. I mean, he might have been 6 or 7 kilograms overweight. So we got that, about, 100 how many pounds in a stone? I don't know how your system works.
I always think of kilo, and then it's like, but a stone is different. Is a stone maybe 10 pounds? I don't know.
14 pounds, that's right. It's 14 pounds in a stone, yeah.
So he lost
So,
2 stone. 2 stone.
no, he would have lost 14 pounds on it. He only had the 14 to lose, which I think is quite a lot.
Yeah.
But he did lose it. And he felt wonderful. So, yes.
Good. So it's I think you have a lot of lamb there, don't you? In Australia.
We do. Yes, a lot of lamb. I spent a few years living on the land with sheep, and we killed our own sheep on that farm and hung them on the back veranda overnight and cut them up the next day. And we were eating meat way back in the 70s. But now I don't buy lamb very often because I buy my meat in bulk from a company in Queensland, and I buy only beef right now. So I don't eat lamb. I love it. Lamb's beautiful.
So you're just off of lamb right now, but
Yeah,
just because you have all that beef to finish eating.
that's right. And to buy it online like that, it's much cheaper than going to the butcher or the supermarket.
Yeah.
It saves so much.
Do you drink coffee?
Yes. Yes.
And so coffee works for you, and dairy works for you, and eggs work for you, and beef works for you. It all works.
Eggs, I'll have one. If I have 2 eggs, I have a little digestive problem with them. Sometimes they just sit there and won't. But I like an egg every now and then. I think they're very healthy. Just one. And yeah, the cheese,
Yeah.
blue
It
cheese.
sounds like it's working really well for you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the foot and the leg cramps, I must mention that was a huge thing for me because the pain and in my feet and my calves was just horrendous. And I'd usually wake up with it in the middle of the morning, about 3 in the morning, and I would have to get up and walk around the house, around and around the house until they dissipated, and then try and go back to bed again. And that was frightening because I thought I had a blood clot in my calf.
Was it like a Charlie horse? Like a cramp?
Yes, my toes would curl up like so, and the cramp in my calves was just really bad pain, really bad pain. And the only thing that would ease it would be the walk and walk and walk around the house. So, and that I don't get any of that anymore. It's gone.
That's so great.
Yes. I was so frightened of the cramps in the calves. I didn't even tell my doctor. It frightened me. And I told them about my crampy feet, and I was advised just to drink more water, but that never used to fix it. The meat did.
And did you have any trouble with electrolytes or that kind of thing? It just
yes, in the beginning, before I started on the meat, I tried to take a lot of magnesium, some potassium, and mix that with the water. I'd always use salt, but now I don't need, for some reason, I don't even need extra electrolytes. I do salt my meat. I salt it. Yes, and that's all. That's all I do.
Well, it sounds like everything is working really smoothly for you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's been smooth, and you're beautiful, and it's working, and it didn't have a bad transition, and I imagine a lot of people that you meet are probably interested in think the pain that has gone away and improvements that you've found.
I wish they were more interested. They're not. They're not really. My BFF, my girlfriend, I've been talking to her, but I don't push her. She knows what I'm doing. She needs to do it, and she won't.
Well, maybe now she'll see this interview, and maybe it will inspire her to give it a.
I hope so, because I love her. I want to help her.
Yeah, and that's why we do these.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Emma. I'm really glad that it's working so well, and you're such a good example of how easy it could be, how easy it can be.
It's been a pleasure. I'm pleased to share it with. I hope people see it around the world. I really do. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm so enthusiastic after all this time. I'd never, ever change back.